There has been a lot of internet chatter about the fact that the United States military has recalled all of its top generals and military commanders from all over the world, as if we are preparing, the royal we, I don't consider myself an American anymore, but you guys living in the collapsing USA are possibly about to go to war or something else. And as usual, when these things occur, you're terrified and you're concerned, and I don't care. Why don't I care? Because I don't live in the collapsing USA, and I live in two countries that are safe from things like nuclear war. I will be very specific. And what I'm about to say, as usual, if you don't believe me, feel free to fact check this. If there was a nuclear exchange between the United States slash NATO and Russia slash China, okay, if that ever happened, here are the places in the world that will be nuked. You ready? United States, Canada, Russia, China. Okay, those are the first places. The next place would be NATO, Europe. So any NATO member in Europe, you're in big trouble. If there's a nuclear war, big trouble. Kiss your ass goodbye. Okay. Third thing would be various islands in the Pacific Ocean. Most of you probably don't live on an island of Pacific Ocean, but that's the third area because there's lots of military bases and naval bases and things like that. Those would be in very big trouble from nuclear missiles. And then a possible fourth region, this is a gray area, we're not sure about this one, might be parts of East Asia outside of China. That is possible. It's kind of a gray area. And that's it. People think if there was some kind of nuclear exchange in some major war, China, Russia, America would launch ICBMs at everywhere in the world. No, it's what I just mentioned. It's North America, Europe, Russia, China, a few islands of the Pacific Ocean, not the Atlantic, the Pacific, and maybe Eastern Asia, maybe. That's it. So now let's cover the parts of the world that would be fine and that would not be nuked. Area number one that would not be nuked at all, the Middle East. No one's going to nuke the Middle East. They need the Middle East. They need the oil. Where do I live most of the year? The Middle East. And I've said this a million times. I'm happy to say this again. I always say this with a big smile on my face because it's true. If you live in America, Canada, UK, places like that, do you realize anywhere near a major city in these countries, and that's the vast majority of you watching this video, okay? If you live in any one of those cities, you have dozens, this is a literal statement, look it up if you don't believe me, dozens of nuclear ICBMs in Russia and China pointed at your house right now. Dozens, depending on what city you live in. In Dubai, how many nuclear weapons are pointed at me? Zero. None. There are no nuclear weapons pointed at Dubai. None. Nobody wants to nuke Dubai. But if you live in Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, New York, anywhere you can think of, Toronto, Canada, London, kiss your ass goodbye if there is a nuclear war. Goodbye. You're the first ones to get vaporized. Now, what's another region that will not be nuked at all in some kind of nuclear exchange? South America, the Latin world, specifically Central and South America. No one has any desire to nuke anyone in South America because no one cares about South America. I'm here in my second home in Asuncion, Paraguay. How many nuclear weapons do you think are pointed at me right now in Asuncion, Paraguay? None again. So dozens pointed at you, zero pointed at me. Why do you think the Nazis went to Argentina after World War II? Because no one gave a fuck about Latin America, Argentina, Brazil in World War II or even World War I. When there's major conflicts, South America is fine. Why do you think I have a base here in Paraguay? Because no one will care. Same thing with Dubai. Well, Caleb, there might be problems in Dubai. No one's nuking Dubai. No one's nuking Dubai. You'll be vaporized. I'll be fine. Yet again, you guys are concerned or scared or angry because you foolishly, stupidly choose to live in the collapsing USA or cuckoo Canada or breakdown Britain or suicidal Europe. You choose these things. So yet again, just like when Trump lost the election, you all got mad, and then Trump got reelected, and some of you got mad again, and then Charlie Kirk got shot, so you got mad again, and then Jimmy Kimmel got fired, so you got mad again, and then he went back on the air and he got mad again, and now you're maybe going to have some major war and you're scared again. Is this worth it? Is all this worry and bullshit and anger worth saying, I still live in America because I don't know why. I'm a dumbass, I guess. I don't have these problems. I just don't care. I don't care. And I don't need to care because I've designed my life, built my Five Flags model, built my lifestyle around long-term stability and safety, something you do not have if you live in the United States in 2025, or Canada, or London, or UK. You don't have these things. Now, if you don't care, if you like being mad all the time, if you like being scared and concerned all the time, great. Stay in the collapsing West and live a horrible, horrible life. Sounds great. I'd rather be happy. I'd rather be safe. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are thinking at this point. As always, the vast majority of you watching this video will say, well, and you're going to use a bunch of beta male bullshit excuses about how you can't leave or how you want to stand and fight, which again means vote for Republicans and bitch on the internet, which you've been doing for 30 years. It doesn't help. And you're going to make a bunch of bullshit excuses about how you just stick around. Or say, I don't like Paraguay. No one said you have to move to Paraguay. No one said you have to move to Dubai. As I keep saying, those are my two favorites. There's at least another 22 countries, one of which you would like, that will not be in big trouble if there was some kind of major war between the United States and Russia or United States and China or whatever the fuck you're worried about. When will you make the decision? Or do you want to just keep being scared or mad the rest of your life?